Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing my October reading wrap-up. So I read 10 books in the month of October and I loved all of the books that I read this month. I cannot stop thinking about all of the books that I read, particularly the last few books. They really just surprised me. I officially am like a super fan of YA fantasy, and I am so excited to just continue reading books in that genre. But let's get into the books that I read. If you are new to my channel, I do book reviews, book recommendations, and we talk all things books. So please, if you like this type of content, give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe down below. So without further ado, let's jump into the video. So we're going to talk really quickly about the last book I read this month, which is Small Favors. This is by Erin A. Craig, and it is a Rumpelstiltskin retelling, very loose, but there are elements to that like story by Brothers Grimm in here, and it was so good. I think I gave this book a 5-star rating on Goodreads. It was so good, and it is a little older. It came out a few years ago, but I saw this while looking for some like mystery type of books to read for the month of October, and I saw that this was like I saw the premise and I thought it was really cool. So it's set in like it's set in a village in like early America settlement time. I would say 1800s, early 1900s, like late 1800s, early 1900s. And it centers around a girl who lives in this village, and when I picture this village, I think a lot of The Crucible. There's a lot about it that reminded me of that book for some reason, and like the Salem witch trials. I don't know, but it gave like a lot of like The Village vibes, if you know what I mean. So stories around this girl named Ellery Downing, and she is the daughter of an apiarist. So they have honey. That's what they do to like make income in this village, and it's very much everyone kind of lives in harmony for the most part in this village. The only way to leave is to go through this forest, and there are several rules. So they don't really have like a court system or anything. They have what's called the elders, and then they have these lists of rules, and you abide by them for your safety and just for like the overall peace for the town. So one of the rules is you don't go in the forest by yourself. There's like monsters that live there, or like a lot of maybe like folklore around this forest, so people just know not to enter it. Well, something happens and people start disappearing. There is a group of men that go out to do a supply run to get like the supplies that they need for the coming winter, like medicine, some extra food, fabric, things like that they can't get in the village. And these people get like mauled by some monster, and then other random things start happening. Some of the animals in their village become like deformed. They start giving birth to babies that have like extra limbs, and just weird stuff starts happening. The weather starts changing and they don't know what's going on. It's super creepy. Like it was the perfect book to end the month with because of just all of the like unsettling descriptions of the monsters and the stuff going on in the town. People start dying, and she meets this man, this stranger, who is a trapper, and he is, as a stranger would be, you know, he is mysterious. We want to know more about him, and he catches Ellery's eye immediately. He starts flirting with her and she's flirting back. And still things start happening in this village, and they're trying to figure out what's going on. They start blaming each other, and you get that mob mentality start growing. And so it was a really cool story on just working together. There's a lot of metaphors on bees here and like how the hive works together for harmony, like to create harmony in the hive. Then we have the, you know, the Rumpelstiltskin type of folklore that goes on in the creepiness there and some other stuff happens that it gets dark and twisty. And it was really, really good. Highly recommend this book to anyone, even if you're like not really into young adult books. I think you'd really enjoy it. It was very, very good. So I don't really know what else to say other than it is dark. It is a fairy tale type of read, and it's kind of unsettling, but it's an open-ended book, kind of frustrating, but I do like that you can interpret it however you want to. And yeah, it's good for any type of reader, I think. The next books that I read in the month of October are A Dance of Thieves and A Vow of Thieves. I talked about this in my reading vlog that I posted last week, but this is a young adult fantasy read, and it's a duology, so it's just these two books, and it centers around a girl who she's a part of like this elite soldier thing in this kingdom, and she is sent to capture this criminal that is probably in hiding in this town, and her and her band of rattan is what they call them, are sent to go capture this guy, find out where he's living, infiltrate this town, and essentially steal back their fugitive. Along the way we meet Jace. He is he's one of the protagonists in this book. We do get his point of view in these books as well, which I love dual POV, so you are gonna get that here, by the way, just heads up. But I love that this book had a great mix of politics, world building, and just a dash of romance. So I think this book series will interest people that aren't necessarily fans of like fantasy romance. You're looking for a really good fantasy read, you will really enjoy this book series. It does have a lot of politics, particularly in the second book, because we have well, I don't want to get into spoilers, but there just is a lot more like things happening around like the realm, kingdom, and overthrowing of things. So if you like politics, if you like world building and war, crimes, things like that, then you will really enjoy this book series. I did give this a 4-star rating each, but I think overall the series is like a 5-star. It's pretty good. There also is like a really sweet relationship, so I didn't really want to mention too much the romance here, but the relationship between Kazi and Jace is really sweet. She is a thief. So she grows up kind of like dirt poor, and she gets picked up by the queen to become a soldier, and really quickly becomes like really, really smart, and because of her like street smarts and living on the streets and being a thief for most of her childhood, she has the skills that are needed to be like a really skilled soldier, and she uses that to her advantage. And then that is how she gets thrust into this world of politics and being with Jace, who is not like that at all. And it is a really sweet romance. I love the riddles in here, and the backstory that we get with her and her mom and learning about where she's from. It was great. Highly, highly recommend. I'm just gonna like fly through these because I just made a full like review on this book series, but I did finish the Carval series in the month of October. So I read Legendary and Finale this month. I took notes, we tabbed things, we annotated, guys, because this series was so good. I love how the series ended, and I just can't stop talking about it. Again, watch that video, but essentially this is a book series on a girl who is really interested in this game called Caraval, and her sister are thrust into this game. They learn that it's more than just a game, and it can kind of bend reality. They're confused about what's real and what's fake. They fall in love. There's like a lot of backstories with their own parents, and I find this to be just a really great read for any age group. It is magical, it has romance, it's adventurous, and it does have a little bit of mystery in it as well. So if you're looking for a book series that has a lot of depth and a lot of fun, then I think you will enjoy it. I will say that it's clean. All of these books are pretty clean. There's not really any spice here, so again, I would recommend it to anyone. But there's so many quotes. I love the side characters here. You're gonna learn about the fates in books 2 and 3 from the Caraval series that you will read more of in the Once Upon a Broken Heart series, which is like my all-time favorite series now. And you read about them here at the start of like learning about them, their backstory, all of that. You will learn about them in these books. So definitely recommend, if you've read those books and you are thinking about reading the series, I would recommend. It is a 5-star for me. And yeah, so I can keep going on, but I feel like I would just at this point give away all of the great stuff that happens here. And you need to discover it for yourself. All the other books that I read in the month of October were on my Kindle Unlimited. So the next book is From Lukov with Love by Mariana Zapata. I'm trying to read at least one of her books a month because she has so many on there and they are so cute. I love them. And I loved this book because it reminded me of The Cutting Edge. I don't know if you guys have seen that movie, but it is like an ice skater enemies to lovers romance, and that's essentially what we have here. We have Jasmine, who is a figure skater, and no one wants to partner with her. She has a bad attitude. She is like grumpy, and she thinks that her skating career is essentially over. She gets paired with her worst enemy, which is Ivan Lukov. He has won world championships, a lot of awards, and he is in need of a partner, so they get partnered together and they try to make the best of it. It just goes from there. You're gonna get a lot of banter, you're gonna get a lot of back and forth. It's really good, and you learn a lot about figure skating, which is cool. So I really liked that. I like the setting, I love the romance, how it grows, and honestly, it's gonna be a slow burn like all of the books that I've read from her so far. So you're not gonna get anything until like literally like the last chapter. So just go in that knowing that any Mariana Zapata book is gonna be like that. But it does not take away from the writing. It doesn't take away from the overall storyline. This was a 5-star read for me. And I just really liked seeing the character development on both of these characters. I liked that we see Ivan understanding where she comes from without money, without a lot of friends, why she is the way she is. And then we see Jasmine learning about Ivan and that he isn't, just because he's like loved by everyone doesn't mean he's like stuck up and all of that. Like there's more to him as well. So we break down a lot of barriers in this book. It was so good. It's thick, like it's a big book, and I was just reading on the Kindle and I'm like, when is this gonna end? But like in a good way, because it was really, really good. So not my favorite that she's written, but it was still a phenomenal read. Highly recommend if you're looking for a good romance read for the winter, I guess, because you have the ice skating. You know, as we're going into colder months, you may appreciate that. So definitely check her out. And I'm really excited to read another book by her for November because I'm trying to read all of her books. Then I read Ever Mine by Laura Pavlov. Again, one of those authors on Kindle that has a ton of books available. So if you're looking for books to read on KU, definitely check out these authors because they have tons of content. And it's just great. It's a great time. It's a small town romance, very cheesy, but it's so cute. This is another sports romance with a hockey player, so a little different, not ice skating, but hockey. And she is one of the sisters in Honey Mountain. There's like a series of sisters in this series, but they're standalones, so you don't have to read all of them. You can just read one. It's fine. And they were together back in high school, but then she breaks it off with him. He becomes a professional hockey player, and then he comes back to town. She is a sports psychologist, and she's been hired onto his hockey team to be their psychologist. He has like this slump and they really need him to like step up his game. So she says, I can help. I can, make him ready for the playoffs or for the upcoming season, whatever. And from there, they're able to, rekindle or talk about what happened in their past and see if they can make it work for their future. And it was a really cute read. I love her books. Again, they're really happy, cheesy, small town vibes, but they're great for, I think, like Christmas time. I just love reading small town romances. They're really happy and they make me happy. So I think they're gonna make you happy. And yeah, definitely check her out. Check out any of her books. You can't go wrong with any of them, honestly. I also read in this series Always Mine, which I actually didn't think I was going to like. I almost did not read this book because I didn't think I would like Friends to Lovers. That was just, I don't know, didn't seem interesting to me. And it ended up being really cute. So they were best friends growing up, actually best friends still. And then for some reason, she's like, I just want to, like, let's just hook up, see what happens, get it out of my system kind of thing. Like all these guys, she's kind of complaining to him about stuff that guys do or don't do. And he's thinking it's like the weirdest thing, like that shouldn't be happening, whatever. And so she's like, well then kind of prove it, whatever, one time it'll be fine. And as we already know, as I'm telling you, you already know that it's not fine and things do progress, and you can't just do that once with your best friend and expect nothing to happen and go back to normal. So yeah, that's essentially what the book is about. And it was actually really, really cute. He is a firefighter and she's a baker, and he has a lot of issues, a lot of trust issues. He's got a lot of abuse in his family, so he has a hard time opening up, and she has her own trauma. So yeah, but again, same setting. It's in Honey Mountain. It has the same sisters as all the other books in the Honey Mountain series. And yeah, it's really cute. I don't know if I will continue reading Friends to Lovers, but it was really sweet and I do enjoy their story a lot. So I think I gave this book a 4-star rating, but I would recommend it regardless. And then the last 2 books that I read in October, I actually read these like the first day of October, and it was The Bridge Kingdom and The Traitor Queen by Danielle Jensen, also on Kindle Unlimited. And I gave this book series a 5 stars. It was fantastic. Oh my God, I need to buy them now. And I don't know where I can buy them, actually, maybe Amazon. But the series essentially is about this girl who's essentially like a warrior princess. Like she was trained with her sisters in hiding her whole life to become like assassins, and she is taken to become a bride to this like enemy kingdom by her dad. Her dad is like not a great guy, but she has been told her whole life that this kingdom is the reason why her kingdom is suffering so much, like economically. So she needs to infiltrate, get the information she needs to get, and send it back to her father. That's all she knows. She's essentially been like brainwashed her whole life into thinking this and being a killer, like stone cold warrior girl. She's also very beautiful. So when she gets married to this kingdom, and she's been taught her whole life they're evil, they're mean, whatever, she is trying to portray herself as like a sweet little innocent, delicate flower princess that is a bride, and she's in this new world, so she doesn't know anything. And she learns really quickly that her father was lying, and there's so much to unpack. It was so good, guys. And I just stumbled upon this while on Kindle one day, and I remember so clearly. My husband was taking a nap, and I was like, what should I read? I'm on Kindle. I'm just scrolling in bed, and I'm like, okay, let's try this. I read the series. I read each book in a day, and I cannot wait. There's 3 books out, but I only read 2 because book 3 is like not with the same characters. It's with side characters, so I wasn't really interested. I don't know if you guys do that, but that's what I did. But book 4 apparently will go back to the original characters, so I don't know, maybe I'll read book 3, but book 1 and 2 was phenomenal, and I loved their relationship. I loved how everything kind of happens. I love how like she's like an assassin warrior girl. I love her sisters. I think this is a very common trope where we have a girl becoming an assassin and then infiltrating another like kingdom. It reminds me of Throne of Glass. I'm reading a book called Daughter of No Worlds, which is also going to be similar. We have so many books right now with that trope and become like enemies to lovers, kingdom, like marriage of convenience kind of thing. But I love it so much. I don't know why, but I'm obsessed with this storyline, and it was just so good, guys. So book 1 ends in a major cliffhanger. Book 2 kind of is like a semi cliffhanger, but it also wraps things up because, again, book 3 is going to center around different characters. And I think there's also like extra chapters after book 2 that you can purchase online, like on the author's website. But book 2 pretty much sums up like their little storyline. So essentially it's like a duology, I guess. And then who knows what book 4 will be, but definitely recommend this book series. You will love the characters. You will love a lot of likable characters here, which I think is really nice as well, because sometimes you're reading books and like you like one character, you don't necessarily like the other, even though they're meant to be together in the book. And so these 2 characters you will fall in love with instantly, and there's a lot of growth that they go through, but it was just a phenomenal read. So that's all I'm gonna say about that. Read it, thank me later, you're welcome. We're done. But that is gonna be it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed this October reading wrap up. I loved all the books that I read this month, and I'm so excited to start November and get into reading some more. I took a couple days off from reading just to kind of give my mind a break and clear it and start fresh. I don't know yet what I'm gonna start reading this month, but we'll see. But yeah, that is gonna be it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you've read any of these, let me know in the comments what you thought of them or what you're currently reading. If you have any recommendations, please let me know. I would definitely appreciate it. But until next time, I will see you in my next video. Bye.